Hi, you're back, and so are we. We just came back from vacation where both the Bookish Kat, go check out her channel, linked it below, and I read The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, which consists of The Summer I Turned Pretty,
It's Not Summer Without You,
and We'll Always Have Summer. It's all by Jenny Han. Kat, what did you like the best out of the three stories? What was the one thing that you would take away? And oh, by the way, this is spoiler free. We will throw a spoiler sign up when we get to talking about spoilery things. What'd you like?
I like the depth of the story because I went into it thinking it was going to be a light, fluffy summer beach read, but instead it had a lot of depth to it than I thought it would. So it was kind of cool reading about like the deeper side of the book, I guess.
Similar to Jenny Han's other trilogy, I guess it's now a trilogy, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, this does have an unexpected, I guess, depth, I'm going to say the word too, that you wouldn't find in a light, fluffy summer romance. The story covers the relationship between the main character, Belly, and her two friends, Conrad and Jeremiah, as well as her brother, Stephen. And the relationship actually goes back to the two moms, which I loved, being a mom myself. I loved seeing adults being present. The two moms were college friends, and one of them has a summer home. And so the moms with their kids spend summers together and have for a very long time, from the time the kids were little. The first book is Belly's point of view, and it covers the current summer where I think she's about to turn 16.
Yeah, she's 15, about to turn 16.
And the boys are 17 and 18, Jeremiah and Conrad, and her brother, I think, is the same age as Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also told through a series of flashbacks. You see Belly from the time she was 8 and like 11, 13, and you see her interacting with the boys, and she is, she has a huge crush. Jenny Han is really good at writing this as well, on Conrad. You see her relationship developing with Jeremiah, who's kind of the easygoing jokester, and as well as her relationship with her brother, which is kind of your typical sibling relationship, right, Kat?
Yeah.
So the first book is Belly's point of view. The second book introduces Jeremiah's point of view. It also ages them to the next summer. Belly's about to start her junior year? Did I get that right? Senior year. And Jeremiah is just finished with his senior year. It was interesting getting Jeremiah's point of view. How did you feel about that, Kat?
I liked it. It made me like Jeremiah even more, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pause because it is a love triangle, and I know out there's a whole bunch of us, sometimes including me, that absolutely despise love triangles. Hi, Edward and Jacob. But Jenny Han writes this so believably because Belly has had this relationship over the years with both Conrad and Jeremiah. You really believe it. And in book 2, I have to say, I was kind of rooting for Jeremiah. They have so much in common, and like I said, he's very easygoing and just more friendly. Where in book 2, Conrad is really dour, and let's just say it, he's kind of
A jerk.
yeah, big time. So let's get on to some spoilery stuff. So here's the spoiler. So those of you that haven't read it yet, you can just stop. But those of you who have read it,
You can stay and watch the rest of this video.
yeah, stay and watch us babble on about this. So, what was the big shocker for you in book 2?
Susanna dying.
I know. Literally, book 1 ends on one of the biggest cliffhangers ever. It just bloody ends. And then you rush to get to book 2, and you start reading it, and on like page 4?
2.
Susanna dies. And you just never think that that would happen because she was fighting her cancer, and there were hints that things weren't as good as they should be, but still, I didn't think she would die so quickly.
Me neither.
And from that, complications arise. And Belly and Jeremiah get closer. Belly and Conrad. Conrad does something so unforgivable. He's such a jerk.
He is.
That you end up really hating him. But then book 3 comes around. And by this time, Belly has aged up 2 years.
She's 18, about to turn 19.
And so she's just finished her freshman year in college. So now we've got an older Belly. But one thing I want to say about Belly, she is probably my least favorite character. I don't know about you, Kat. What do you think?
Probably.
Yeah. She seems really immature.
No, my least favorite is Mr. Fisher, and then Belly is right above him.
Okay, but Mr. Fisher has some redeeming qualities in book 3.
Yeah, he does.
Unexpected, and yeah, Mr. Fisher. He is Conrad and Jeremiah's dad. And one of the things you're always thinking is, gosh, will the boys turn out like their dad? And that's something that Jenny Han plays with really well. At times you're like, gosh, that Conrad is just like his father, and Jeremiah, just like his dad, which is not a good thing. Book 3, Belly, really immature.
Really, even more immature than she was in book 1. And in book 1, she was 15.
8, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flashbacks.
And she was the most immature in this last book. And
if you don't like gullible and naive girls, she's going to drive you crazy. But I kept reading. Why did you keep reading?
I wanted to see who she ended up with.
I wanted to see if she would end up with any of the 2 boys, because especially with Susanna dying, I wanted her to end up with one of the Fisher boys. I mean, come on, right? So somewhere in the middle of reading book 3, I told Kat, I think I know what's going to happen. And I told her, what did I tell you? Oh, I told her that I think Conrad's going to die because he was such a jerk. Or Belly was going to end up with neither one of the 2 boys.
Or that Belly was going to end up with Conrad, and Taylor, Belly's best friend, was going to end up with Jeremiah.
Which would have been like kind of a cute little Pride and Prejudice-y thing. But that's not what happened. And so how do you feel about the ending? What did you think? Oh, by the way, in book 3, who did you hate the most besides Mr. Fisher?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
He sucked.
A butthead. I mean, he is...
Nope.
So bad in that book.
Nope.
Who did you love?
Conrad.
Let's put our heads together, Conrad. Yeah, the ending was...
The ending was really satisfying. Like, I decided that if it ended with just book 2 and the epilogue being Belly marrying Conrad, then I wouldn't have liked it. But because you got book 3 and you got to see what Jeremiah did and you got to see Conrad's point of view, I was actually really glad that Belly ended up with Conrad, because overall he seemed like the better guy for her than Jeremiah did.
Conrad was really mature, and I have to tell you, one of the tension-filled moments in book 3 is a teenage wedding. Yay! Not. That was also kind of a disappointing, where the tension of who Belly will end up with, number 1. Number 2, will Susanna die? What happens after she dies? And then book 3, the tension surrounds this unbelievable, stupid wedding. And so I literally just kind of flew through the pages going, gosh, I hope that, this doesn't happen. So that's what kept me reading as well. How many stars would you give it, Kat?
I gave it 4 stars. It was going to be 3.5, but the ending bumped it up that 0.5 star. It is my least favorite in the series, but it was really slow, the first half, but once you got through that first half, around the middle-ish, there's a point where you won't want to stop reading it because it's so good.
Yeah, I would give it 4 stars. In fact, each of the books, I would give him 4 stars. It's definitely solid story, deeper, as Kat said, than we both expected it, but still, not quite a 5-star book. Anyway, thank you for staying with us, seeing the annoying shade reflection. And if you
like this video, give it a thumbs up.
and hit subscribe to see more of our really long-winded reviews that are somewhat nonsensical but still fun. And definitely with the summer fading, go get this trilogy. It is worth it.
Yes, it is.
God, look at these annoying things.
I know.